Welcome back, everyone. I'm making a quick update video here. Thankfully, we have gotten some really good rain over the past couple days. It rained pretty much all day today, but pretty much since last Thursday or Friday, it has rained every day, rained a good amount. Um, so the plants have definitely been happy about that. It's really tough when, springtime in Florida is our dry season, and it can get really difficult because it's also when it starts to get hot. We kind of skip over spring. Really, in Florida, we go from winter to just summer because it just starts to get hot. So, but so yeah, it's been really dry. I don't think it has felt, to me anyways, it has not felt quite as hot as early as it did the past couple years, but we definitely didn't have any rain, and I was watering everything, like every other day. So it kept things alive, but it's just very difficult because it's just not the same as rain. It's amazing to me how it can rain even though you're watering your trees, your garden, whatever. It can, yeah, it's kind of keeping it alive, but it can have a really good rain like one time and all the plants just spring to life. Um, so, but I had mentioned in my last video that I was working on something in forest and this is what I've been doing. I have been, where the tree lines are, I've been coming in between all the trees and putting down mulch. Now, my issue, some of them I have been putting cardboard that I have down underneath, but this is the issue that I always have, is the grass out here likes to just come right through. A lot of this sedge grass and bahia grass and different things like that will just come right through mulch. Now, I know I could make this like extra thick and it wouldn't come through as easily, but I don't want it to be so thick that it would choke out if I plant any trees or anything in here. But right now what I've been working on is coming through and just putting the mulch in between the trees here, so making like rows and making lines, because kind of inadvertently I made like lines of trees when I planted them. I didn't really mean to do that. It just, I guess subconsciously I planted them that way. Look how good this Tice mulberry looks right now. Didn't get any berries off it this year, but it looks really good and really healthy. But yeah, anyway, so like pretty more or less the trees I planted were just in line, but it was not I don't think it was on purpose, at least not originally. I think I've started doing it now on purpose, but I didn't originally start doing it on purpose. But so my goal is to get everything mulched in, and I'm pretty much almost got it all done in the rows and the lines like this, and then eventually I'm going to come in and mulch like everything out here. Since I've got access to mulch easily, I'm just going to go ahead and do that because it will help improve the soil. Adding some composted wood to the soil, some soil life, some carbon, especially if you put the cardboard underneath it, and that cardboard rots down. You'll be you're putting the carbon back into the ground, and you can see right here there was cardboard underneath here, but yeah, and it also will give more life to the soil, like fungal life and bacterial and decomposers and all sorts of stuff. I don't know if I have showed, since I went up to Scrubland, I went up to Scrub Fest in April and got some new things. This is a little, it's little right now, but it is a bay tree, like bay leaf, like you put in your food. There are several bay trees that you can't cook with because they're toxic, more or less. But that one is the culinary bay. For Mother's Day, I got my wife a new tangerine tree, and this is a honey tangerine tree. I got it from a local dealer here who's sadly going out of business. But I say local dealer, that sounds like I'm doing drugs or something. A local nursery that's sadly going out of business. But they had a good selection of citrus, but I planted it here underneath all these oak trees in this partial shade canopy area, because this is where citrus likes to be. You can see it's getting a little bit of sun through this kind of opening right here, but most of the day it's in the shade. Citrus does not need full sun. It doesn't need a lot of sun at all. That will lower the fruit production, but it protects the tree. Citrus is supposed to be an understory tree. That's how it was in the places that it came from in Asia, and it helps with preventing greening. So that's why I planted like this, my Hamlin orange here, which I need to cover that up down there. Those feeder roots are kind of sticking out more than I like. But this Hamlin orange is underneath here, underneath this, and you can see it's got some new leaves coming out, these lighter colored ones. I just took down some of these little oak trees, these little small trees over here, because they were blocking. I bought another tripod with a impact sprinkler, and I've been running it on a timer and watering the trees out here just because it was so dry. And but I haven't had to do that for several days, thankfully. I did discover, I had Sam from Scrubland come down and kind of give me some advice on some things I should do out here, and he noticed, I didn't, that this tree, I always thought there's one here and then there's one right there. I always thought that this was a rain tree because we have so many rain trees around here, but just, I thought the leaves looked a little funny, but I thought that's what it was. But no, this is a sumac, shining, aka winged sumac. This is the kind of sumac that when it produces berries, you can use the berries to make, I know they use it, they'll dry them and make like a powder, and it's kind of like a seasoning. Lemony flavors, from what I've heard. I've never had it, so, but I left these two trees here because I figure, I've never seen them bloom, I've never noticed berries on them, but I figured just leave them here, and if they make berries, then we'll give it a shot. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else is new out here. The porterweed is blooming again. This is a native Florida flower, and these flowers are edible, but I did it more for looks and for pollinators. I got this from when I went up to Scrub Fest. This is a tropic snow peach, so it makes a white fleshed peach. And I got this, I was going to get a Tropic Beauty, but I think he was out because Tropic Beauty is one of the more popular ones. So when I got there, it had already been all bought up, so I got that Tropic Snow. And it wouldn't surprise me, this peach over here that I thought yet again was dead, but you can see it's coming back again. Let's see if it actually does anything, because this is what it keeps doing. It dies back and it looks like it's totally dead, and then it comes up again, but it doesn't really get very big, and then in winter it dies back again, and blah blah blah, that endless cycle. But the place I bought this from, the guy said he didn't know what the variety was, but he said it was a white fleshed peach, and I'm wondering if it was also Tropic Snow, so we'll see. But then again, I think that this has come back underneath the graft line where it originally was, which I think is right in here. And this is coming up from down there. So this could be, I don't know what kind of peach this is going to be, if it does anything. But every time it looks like it's totally dead, I go to dig it up or plan on digging it up, it comes back. So these, I was in the Sam's Club the other day, and they had some bare root berry plants. They had strawberries, blackberries, raspberries. I don't need strawberries because I've got a good variety of strawberry here. I don't need blackberries. I've got blackberry plants over there. I mean, could use a few more, but didn't really need them. But this is goji berry. They weren't very expensive. I bought a couple of them, and I put them underneath this loquat tree because I've heard that they don't really like to be in too much sun. They actually do well with a little bit of shade. So I figured, why not give it another shot? Now, I've had goji berries before, and I've tasted them raw, and I did not like them. They tasted like grass to me. Some people may like them, I don't. But dried goji berries are tasty. So that's my plan with these. If they do well here, I will dry them. And dried goji berries, they also have a lot of health benefits. A lot of people consider them a superfood. I don't really get into I think a lot of this quote-unquote superfood just gets ridiculous. But they a lot of vitamins and minerals. So my Barbados cherry here has gotten pretty big. This one has not bloomed yet this year. The other one that I have in the garden area has made a few flowers. It actually made a couple of cherries, and that's the first time it's done that in years. But I've been attracting more pollinators. That's kind of been a goal of mine, and so I think that's helping. These grafts of this loquat, which I'm pretty sure they are both Christmas loquat variety. They are doing very well. I wish they would grow faster, but it is what it is. Sometimes it still wants to put out underneath, and I just pull those off because I want it to focus all of its energy into these grafts. So, and especially with this rain we just got, things should start really, really going hard. Cherry of the Rio Grande is finished for this year, and so I think once it gets done flowering, it starts to drop some leaves, starts to kind of shed a little bit, but then it will more than likely come back. It's always been, yeah, you can see like right here, there's a new growth coming out. So I've been trying to, I kind of mowed back a little bit of space in here, trying to pay more attention to this Hass avocado in here, because I mean, this thing it's got to be 12 to 15 feet tall, and it hasn't bloomed yet, but I haven't really been taking care of it. It's kind of been thriving on neglect over here. I mean, it's happy enough because it's humongous, but it is a little like spindly looking. So I don't know if I could prune it and it would cause it to bush out a little bit more. I don't really care about it bushing out more. I want it to be, as long as it's healthy and happy and making avocados. But I've had this over here for gotta be at least 5 years now, and this was from a pit that I think I got from the grocery store. But like I said, I haven't really been, I'm not too concerned about like some of the sword ferns and stuff like that. A lot of times with this stuff, this Caesar weed, I'll come in here and just pull this out. This is that invasive type of plant that I was talking about in that last video. These things take over. The one thing that will I will give them some credit is they do attract butterflies. The butterflies love Caesar weed flower, but they are very, very invasive. They spread very quickly. Like these, all this right here is Caesar weed, and this is how they spread. These little like sand spur type things. So that's going to be more Caesar weed, but I don't have the desire to come out here and try to remove and throw away and destroy every single one of those things. So this honey mango cutting here, not cutting, this was from a seed. It just doesn't look good, and I can't figure out what the problem is. I've kind of pulled back the mulch from around the base of it, thinking maybe it needed some air, but it's just not doing too well. I don't know why, but I'm going to graft on it anyways. So this peanut butter fruit tree is doing a lot better. It's got new growth coming out. The other one that was back in the back, I potted it up because it had some nematode issues, and it's coming back now. This is something I bought at Scrub Fest. This is an Indian mallow. It hasn't made any blooms since I put it. It was in severe shock for like a month, and finally it's coming around. But it makes kind of hibiscus looking flowers, but they hang down, so I thought it would be interesting. I had planted in here a whole bunch of squash seeds, and they never came up. Well, all of a sudden now they're coming up, so I'll leave them and see what happens. I had squash plants over here that were just dying because of all the heat and the drought that we were having. But I decided to put in some okra here, so you can see some sprouts. Some okra. It's like I took a bunch of different varieties and mixed them together. This Piracicaba, the Brazilian stem broccoli, is starting to the outer leaves are kind of starting to turn yellow and die, but now it's got all these in here, but I've been picking it off. Now it only makes small heads. It doesn't make like the big head like you would with your standard broccoli, but it's supposed to be more heat tolerant. It has done well here, so I will be planting it more in the future. And then I got some Thai soldier beans coming up here. That's just a standard snake bean, yard long bean, but it hasn't really it's done okay. It hasn't been super vigorous yet. There's some more of them over here. Got some cranberry hibiscus that's popping up probably from like flower heads off of this plant. And then look at I love planting zinnias, and this right here is why. Because they're not picky and they grow nice and thick. I don't even thin them out. I just put the seeds down and let them do what they want to do. But they grow nice and thick, super colorful flowers. They attract butterflies like crazy. Honeybees don't tend to go to zinnias from my experience, but butterflies love them. Other types of bees like bumblebees and stuff will come to them, and they just are very, very easy to take care of. They really don't have to do a whole bunch. You know, you can see it's all in here with all this sweet potato vine, and it's not even bothered by it. And and then another thing, these will self-seed. So if you let them just sit here and come up and then die back and then drop seed, they'll start to come up again. I had that happen last year when I planted them. So eventually I'll probably come in here and have to plant some more, need this space. But for now, I'm just letting this, like I said, I'm trying to attract more pollinators. And you see I've got blackberries that haven't ripened. My problem with the blackberries is that when they get nice and ripe, or right before they get nice and ripe, I come out and something has eaten them, probably birds. So, and I don't feel like putting a net over it. If I were to tie this cane up then it'd be easier to do that, but I don't want to tie it up. I want it to sprawl, which is what it's doing. It's all the way over here now, and every node it will put down roots if it's contacting the soil, so I don't care if it takes off like that. Got some okra in here, same thing, just that mix. This one doesn't look too good, so but I just put a whole bunch of seed in, and then I come out and check and say, oh, okay, that one looks better, that one doesn't look so good, get rid of that one. And hopefully I'll get some okra going. Right in here I have, this is Nigerian spinach. I bought it from Seed the Stars. If you're in Florida, I highly recommend ordering seeds from Seed the Stars. They are a Central Florida based seed company. They are very serious about what they do, and they have a lot of varieties you can't get anywhere else, and it's all local too. They all their seeds, they do it all locally because they're trying to be hyper local with seeds. So Nigerian spinach is a heat loving, it's not a true spinach, but it's a heat loving green. These are finally starting to look like they're adding more leaves on. They've been just kind of sitting here, but there's probably some more right in here, but I'm kind of letting it go to see which one gets strongest. There's another okra there. It's getting close to time to harvest these. Oh, here's some more zinnias over here. I planted some corn. There's corn right there, there's some corn right here. I'm gonna go ahead and thin these out because that one's the biggest one. There's corn here, and I think that this one looks better, so we'll do that. There's this some more Thai soldier beans that I put in right there and let them climb up this trellis here. This pigeon pea is not looking too good. I don't know if you noticed, there was one in the back that had died that I took down. This one is not looking great. That one back there is looking okay, but they only have like a 3 to 4 year lifespan, and I've had them for 3 years, so it's about time to replant them. This is a lemon balm plant that I bought at Scrub Fest. Longevity spinach here. Yeah, it's just about time to harvest these onions and garlic. Not quite yet, but it's getting close. These are pumpkins that I planted. It's a variety called Bulldog. I also got that from Seed the Stars. It is a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, which means it gets big, but it's supposed to be more heat tolerant. Over here, this Christmas lima is doing really well. It's making beans. I planted some more back there, but I don't know if they've come up yet. This is a type of cucumber, but it may have been too late when I planted it. Look at all of this ube yam coming up in here still. If you've got, this is a good thing, but also a complaint of mine. If you have any of this stuff and you don't get every single last bit of it up, if you want to move it or remove it from an area, if you don't get it all up, it will just continue to come back time after time after time. And even if there's just the tiniest piece, it will come back. It will set roots and it will come up. So I don't want it here anymore, so I've just been pulling it when I see it. But that's what you have to be wary of when you plant the stuff. This, I don't even remember what that is right there. That might be another cucumber that just popped up right here. This is the thing, is sometimes seeds, if they're not happy because of the, if you're in a bit of a drought or something like that, and the seeds aren't happy, and you plant seeds and they don't come up, you may think, well, I guess those seeds didn't germinate or whatever. Give it some time, because sometimes if you're especially in a drought condition, things are just kind of rough. You'd be surprised when you start getting rain. All of a sudden, those seeds you thought were dead and not going to come up, they're coming up. So I've noticed that over, like, you know, in my experience, that you'd be surprised. Sometimes seeds take a little while to germinate, and I've been trying to focus on not planting my seeds too deep, because that does cause a problem, and that can smother them and they won't come up. So I've been just barely like pushing them in the ground, and I've gotten better germination rates from it. So it's another thing. My beautyberry, this beautyberry over here, is starting to bloom. Bought this at Scrub Fest. I have one that's just kind of growing back in there. I've shown it before, and it just was there on its own. But there's some more corn right there and there, and Everglades tomatoes here. That one looks okay. That was on the ground. I don't usually like to get it off the ground, but it looks like it's okay. But I'm gonna harvest these off of here. Gotta get out of the spider web. I don't know, it's an itty bitty little spider. I can't even tell what kind of spider it is. I don't mind spiders being in the garden because they, it's another form of pest control, but I'm really hoping that this, I don't know why it's been just dropping them sometimes though, but I'm really hoping that this, since this thing overwintered and I thought it was not going to make it because it just kind of sat there and didn't grow, but then all of a sudden it started to grow and, you know, kind of take care of itself. I'm really hoping that means that this thing has established itself here, so that I'm going to get, I really would not care if this entire area was just taken over by Everglades tomato. I wouldn't care at all. Excuse me for 1 second, I gotta shift. So, but yeah, there's some more okra right there. Got some more over there. This is another thing, seeds I got from Seed the Stars. This is perennial okra, also called edible leaf okra. I think it's also called tree okra because it can get pretty big. When I saw perennial okra, I thought, man, I gotta have some of that. And because if I can have this be a little bit more of a year-round thing, I would be super happy. So I've sowed a bunch of seeds. Only this one came up. We'll see if any more come up since it's been raining, but sometimes okra seeds can be tough to get to germinate depending. But I'm going to see how this does. I'll probably plant some more, and if it does well, then I'm gonna really focus on this. Look at this acorn that was beginning to root. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on here. This purple salvia is doing great. I really want to get some of the native salvia that we have here, but I bought some. This is lemon thyme right there. This Jamaican. I'm telling you what, if you want to grow herbs and you like to use oregano, try to get a hold of some Jamaican oregano. This stuff right here is growing like a weed, and we harvest it and use it all the time, and it tastes just like oregano. It's great. It's easy to, for me, it was easy to get to germinate, easy to get to, well, I didn't plant seeds, I planted it, but it was easy and has been easy to maintain. So yeah, if you're wanting to plant some oregano or some other herbs, Jamaican oregano is, I recommend it. But yeah, that's what I've been doing out there. I'm gonna try to mulch that entire area, but it's just me and the wife doing it, so you know, we can't get as much done as if we had a whole team. Plus I have to work during the day, and she's got other responsibilities as well, so we could get it done a lot faster if we had just all the time in the world to do it, but we don't. So, but we're slowly getting there, and I'm going to get that all mulched out there, and it will be really good for the soil, good for the trees. I just planted these. This is Cuban oregano, and it does not require full sun. It actually doesn't require a lot of water, but it's doing well. It's already grown. Now this stuff, it smells just like oregano. I haven't tried it yet, but it is a whole lot stronger than your standard oregano. So what I've seen is if you use this for oregano, you use like half the amount because it's just so much stronger. But yeah, I'm waiting now that we got a bunch of rain. You can see the air root is coming up right here, but I'm waiting on all my ginger to come up over here. Normally once it warms up and we start getting some good rain, the ginger just starts waking up. Now the shampoo ginger had already started to wake up, but the culinary ginger and the turmeric and all that, usually once it starts to warm up and we start getting some good rain, it will pop back up. Somewhere in here was my turmeric, and I also had a peacock ginger in here. They haven't popped back up yet, so I don't remember exactly where they are because I don't have them labeled. But when they come back up, then you'll know. So when I had Sam down here from Scrubland, we were looking at this. I thought that this was Indian head ginger, and so I planted it here because of the flowers that it produces. He said it looked like spiral ginger to him because of how it's twisting when it grows like that. He took a picture of it and ID'd it, and it came up as either insulin plant, which is a type of ginger, or spiral ginger. I would love if this were spiral ginger because I've been wanting to get some, and I got this from my church, back behind my church, around a tree. It's there, and they told me that, you know, they don't care about, you know, they don't have anything to do with it. So if I wanted it, I can take it. So if that does turn out to be spiral ginger, I'll know when it blooms. But if it turns out to be spiral ginger, I'm going back and I'm going to get all of it because it's still there. So, but yeah, I am, one last thing really quick, going to be, look how tall that stevia has gotten there. But I am going to be selling, I've got shampoo ginger over here. I'm going to be selling this. I may sell these starfruit here, and I'm not selling these. This is Tamarillo, which is also called tree tomato, and these are looking really good. I had gotten a couple packets of seeds, planted them, thinned them out, and these are looking really good. So I'm excited to try these. But I also bought this the other day. This is a native Stokes aster. It's a flower. I got to get it planted. I've got the pineapples over here and everything. But yeah, so I'm going to be selling that shampoo ginger. Just haven't gotten it online yet. Bought this olive at Bach Tower Garden, and these strawberries are going to town over here. They love this container. And then this is the peanut butter fruit tree that I had dug up and potted up because it was looking horrible. Everything looked like that, and it wasn't putting out any new leaves. And I thought, you know, if I don't do something, I'm going to lose it. I don't really want to lose it. So I figured let's just try to pot it up. And when I pulled it out, it did have a lot of nematode damage. So I put it in this pot. I didn't treat it with anything. I just put it in the pot. And sure enough, that's all it took. And all the dead leaves, except for that one, maybe one other, have fallen off. And it is pushing new leaves pretty quickly. And, you know, none of all this was there. You know, it was just completely dying. And so in a pot, sometimes you can do that if you have a tree or something that's smaller like this. Obviously you can't, well, you could if you wanted to, but it'd be a lot harder to dig up a big tree. But if you've got a smaller tree that you've just planted, or, you know, you planted it and it looked okay, but then all of a sudden it's just looking really bad, no matter how much you fertilize it, no matter how much you water it, no matter what, then it could be, especially in Florida with the sandy soil and the dryness and the heat and stuff that we've been having, it could be nematodes, root knot nematodes, and those will kill the plant. So that's something you can do, is dig it up and put it in a pot and let it kind of revive itself. And then once it's kind of gotten bigger and stronger, you can plant it back out. You can do whatever you want to with it. But when it gets hot and dry, and because of the sandy soil, the root knot nematodes really like it. So that's just something to be aware of. And there are some plants that attract them more than others. Unfortunately, okra is one of them, and okra is one of the easiest things to grow here, but it can also be a pain because it attracts the nematodes. But there are things you can plant to repel the nematodes. Mustard is one. Marigold, they don't like marigold, but the thing with the marigolds is just planting them doesn't really do anything. You have to till the plant under, and that repels them. I can't remember what else. There's some other things that they don't like. But anyways, so now you see what I'm working on out there. Eventually that will be completely mulched over, and hopefully that will just really push those trees out there to go, you know, to the sky and start really producing for me. So I didn't get much mulberry production this year. I think Hurricane Milton just stressed the trees out too bad last year. They all survived, but I think they just had too much stress, because the only tree that I really got any berries off of was my Thai, and even it didn't really produce a lot. It just, I think we may have gotten maybe 40 to 50 berries off it, maybe, and I think I'm overestimating. So yeah, it didn't really do very well. Neither one of the everbearing trees gave me anything. The Tice had a few, but they didn't even ripen, and something ate them off, or they fell off. So I think, because the trees look healthy, so I think it's just that they were stressed by that hurricane. And you know, I've heard other people have had the same issue, so we'll see if we have any hurricanes this year. There's not much I can do with a lot of those trees except for just, you know, brace them to where they won't just get ripped to the ground. But we'll see. Anyways, that's just a little update what's going on, and I will be back on after a while. Thanks for watching.